Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, and I want to talk about Herman Miller ergonomic chair shopping advice. So the best way to find the best Herman Miller ergonomic office chair, in particular Black Friday. Black Friday, which is a holiday in it's the day after Thanksgiving in the United States of America. And typically, Herman Miller, not always, but typically, they have very good sales for Black Friday. So within this video, I'm going to talk about several of the popular Herman Miller chairs, things that you as a potential buyer may not have thought about. Oh, and by the way, you can expand this video's description and then click the links there to find the various chairs. What I've got in front of me right here is my Herman Miller Mira 2 chair. And I've got a separate video where I go into an exhaustive amount of detail. I think that video is around maybe around a half hour long, and I'll link it. I'll flash up a YouTube card, so if you want to watch it, you can. But within this video, we're just going to go across the board things to consider when you're shopping for a Herman Miller chair. And obviously, it's easy to see the seasonal discounts and assume, oh, well, you know, you by default, your mind most of the time wants to go to the lesser priced item, and that's not necessarily always the best decision. So we're going to tackle this video. We're not going to put price into the focal point at all. We're just going to talk about the various chairs, what may be best for you, and hopefully this video will help. If it does, again, shop my links. Don't have to, but I've linked all the chairs below. If you choose to shop my links, that's appreciated. If you want to send me a super thanks, not required, but you can click that thanks button down below and send me a super thanks and thank me for my time putting this video together. And if you want to do both, shop my link and send a super thanks, that is incredible, but not required. None of that's required. So this chair right here is the Mira 2. Now I'm not going to win any modeling contest. I'm not fat and not skinny, but I guess I'd say one could say I'm closer to fat than skinny. So this chair, me being 6 feet 2 inches tall, this chair is awesome. Now, the reason I went with Mira 2, as you can see here, got a very nice, slow and controlled recline, very comfortable. I did not go with the mesh on the back, but I did go with the exposed, I think they call it Triflex polymer. But I went with that. It's very cool. And the reason I went with this instead of putting the mesh, one of the things about the Mira 2 that's so cool, you can spec it out and you could put mesh over this to be, mesh like you have on the seat. But I didn't do it because by not having the mesh, I can easily clean this with a moist, washcloth or whatever I may want to. So a lot of people with this particular chair, they'll go without the mesh and just do like I did because the back's easier to clean without the mesh, but that's personal preference. So looking at Herman Miller chairs, one thing that one should consider is your size. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to win any modeling contest, but I'm not too fat and I'm not too wide. If you're on the portly side, I guess they would say that would be I hate all this political correctness, but if you're larger, if your butt's a little bit bigger, then you may want to be looking at the Herman Miller Aeron, because the Herman Miller Aeron, like all the chairs I've linked within this video's description, you can choose, I think currently at the time of filming this, among 3 different sizes, A, B, and C. So you can get a really wide chair seat in the Aeron, very nice chair. The disadvantage to the Aeron is from an aesthetic perspective. So if you're looking at the Aeron, at least at the time of filming this, you're not going to be able to pick the variety of color options with the Aeron like you can this Mira 2 that I'm sitting in. So for that reason, if you want a mesh seat and vented chair, my recommendation would be to go with the Mira 2 because you can better customize it and you can get, various color options, various features. You can customize the Aeron as well, but not to the degree that you can customize the Mira 2. Now, there's other options out there from Herman Miller as well, one of which is the Embody. The Embody is what a lot of people consider to be Herman Miller's most comfortable chair. Nothing wrong with the Embody, great chair. But unlike the Mirror 2 and the Aeron, the Embody does not have a mesh back or a mesh seat bottom. It's a solid surface. Now, they've incorporated some technology into the Herman Miller Embody that makes it sit cooler. But in a situation where you're like I am and you got this very bright window where the sun, you can see throughout this video, the sun's been shining in, and I've got on this sweatshirt and I just feel all hot and sweaty. Ooh, you want a vented chair in certain situations. And for me, the Embody would not have been a good fit for me because it's not vented. And I do often use my chair here, which is in front of a hot window when the sun's shining. I mean, obviously the sun goes away. It's not out 24 hours a day, but when it's here, it's nice having this vented chair. So, you know, for me, it was a decision between, well, actually, there were several choices. So I had the Aeron, which what steered me away from that, I didn't need the wider seat. You know, like I said, I'm not fat, but I'm not skinny, but this fits me perfectly. Now, the Mirror 2, at the time of filming this, you only get one seat size choice. So with the Mirror 2, you're stuck with this size, which is great for me, but you may be very large, it may not fit you, and in that situation, you would want to consider the Aeron. But there are other options. One of the most recent Herman Miller releases is the Sail, the Herman Miller Sail chair. Now, the challenge with the Sail chair is that even though it has a vented back, and it's actually very cool looking on the back, even though it's got a vented back, the seat is a solid material. So unlike the Aeron or the Mirror 2, where you're getting vented seat, vented back, with the Sail, you're only getting the vented back. At the time of filming this video, to my knowledge, there is not a vented seat or mesh seat option for the Herman Miller Sail. So that's something to be aware of. Also, the Herman Miller Sail, if you're a little bit taller, and I'm not a tall dude, but I'm not short, I'm 6'2", you can see where this chair does my back. It's perfect for me. But if you went with the Sail, it may not fit you as well because the Herman Miller Sail is typically for shorter people. Not saying you can't use it if you're taller, because if you look at the specs, it'll probably work. But would the Sail for someone that's taller be as comfortable as the Mirror 2 or the Aeron? Probably not. So, you know, like I said towards the start of this video, don't base your purchase decision upon the discounted price, because typically during these holiday sales, it's typically across the board discounts. So don't think about it from the perspective of, ooh, well, man, that sale is so much less expensive. What I do when I shop for chairs is this, okay, is it comfortable? Does it fit me well? Is it something that's going to last a long time? Now you can check the link within this video's description. You can find all the chairs. And when you check there, you can find warranty information. One of the things that's great, and hopefully this doesn't change, about Herman Miller is that the warranty is typically very strong. So if you consider, in let's say full price or discounted price chairs, that you go to your big box retailer, you know what I'm talking about. They've got chairs for $100. They've got chairs all the way up to $1,000 in a big box retailer. But typically those chairs, no matter how fancy or comfortable they may appear to be, even if they might be comfortable and squeak free and smooth recline and all of that, brand new, a lot of those mainstream chairs that one would find at a typical big box retailer, they're probably going to wear out quickly. And if they do, their warranties are probably not as good as Herman Miller's warranty. So when you look at Herman Miller chairs, you're looking at something, great materials, not all, but most, and actually both of mine are. I've got the Mirror 2 and the Caper from Herman Miller. Both of mine were manufactured in the United States. Most of the Herman Miller chairs are manufactured in the United States. I'm not saying all are, but most are, and the quality is top notch. But not just the quality of assembly, the quality of materials, but the peace of mind that the warranty brings. So this is a chair that I can use for many years. Sure, it was a little bit more costly than my big box retailer chairs. You know, nothing wrong with those. But if you factor into the equation that if you go with those inferior chairs, number one, they're probably going to wear out more quickly. And number two, they're probably going to, you know, the comfort is probably going to become dramatically reduced. They may become annoying to sit in because they may start to squeak and crack and pop. Inferior build quality, inferior materials. So when you factor that in and you look at something that's like, okay, well, potentially in a, you know, if you're using it every day, you know, you're a business person, you're sitting in that chair every day, that chair will probably wear out pretty quickly. So it's probably a situation to prolong one's comfort. Someone would go out and purchase a new chair. Well, boom, now you've bought two chairs instead of one. So with Herman Miller, why not just buy one high quality chair that is well made, comfortable, and something that's probably going to last for many years. And if there is a failure because of the warranty may protect the person's chair. So, you know, if this chair right here, let's say for example, and I hope it doesn't, and I wouldn't expect it would, let's say the armrest just breaks in half. Well, maybe that's covered by the warranty. You know, it just broke. You know, I didn't bang into a wall or anything with it. So having the peace of mind of, you know, of a warranty is a value add. So, you know, I'm just talking you through. I'm not sitting here trying to sell you on chairs. Now, if you do decide to buy a chair, please consider expanding this video's description and clicking the links there. That really helps me out. Or just send me a super thanks, even if you don't buy a chair. You're like, man, I watched that guy's video. He made me a subject matter expert for chairs. I owe him a super thanks. Not required, but you can click that thanks button down below this video and send me a super thanks. But, you know, think about it as a long-term investment. And let's completely eliminate cost from even the back of our minds. And let's think about comfort. Now, comfort is not just, oh, it's soft and it's got cushiony material. Comfort, most importantly, is, you know, one should ask the question, is it ergonomically correct? Does this chair properly support me? Are the armrests adjustable where I can achieve the optimal, you know, arm placement while I'm not typing on my keyboard? Is the height adjustable? You know, when I have my height adjusted right, do I have a perfect 90 degree, you know, you look at my knee and then this leg right here, what's that, the femur or whatever? Do I have a good 90-degree angle when my feet are flat? Am I sitting in an ergonomically correct fashion? Do I have lumbar? Yes, and that's an option I highly recommend is lumbar, because you can configure, you can adjust your chair to where everything is perfect. So whether, you know, you're using it for 5 minutes to check a quick email, or maybe you're on a, you know, maybe you're a businessman and you've got something big going on and you've been on a conference call for 13 hours because the sky's falling, but you're still comfortable because you've got an ergonomic chair. Try that. Try a 13-hour conference call in an off-the-shelf big box retailer chair and compare that. That's my point. You know, it's not just the quick comfort, it's the prolonged comfort, and then not only the prolonged comfort, but the prolonged lifespan of the materials and, you know, the build quality. So if you think, oh man, well, you know, in your mind you go out to the big box retailer and you get that, you know, whatever branded chair, you think you got a good deal. Well, once that comfort starts to degrade, you're going to realize you didn't get a good deal, and then you're going to be shopping for another chair. So if you get the best, which in my opinion is Herman Miller, you're not going to need anything else. And I mean, with me, I mean, I've got, you know, this chair, which is my most comfortable, but I've also got the Herman Miller Caper, which is a tighter form factor, and I got it configured without arms because it slides underneath a tiny desk. This one I've got room to stretch out and be comfortable. And that's one of the things, especially in the world of business. If someone is comfortable, they're going to be perceived both verbally and non-verbally as calm and confident. And the calm and confidence is what propels someone to the next level within the business realm. Not the only thing that does, but one of the biggest components. Because if one can come across as calm, collected, confident, well, they know what they're doing. And they're in control of the situation. And that's typically what any business wants, is someone that is in control, that's calm, collected. You know, people that are frantic, people that jump to assumptions, people that create unnecessary panic. Those people are very poorly perceived within most business places. And so that's why it's important to have proper posture, you know, a chair that promotes proper ergonomics. And most importantly, these chairs look cool. I mean, you see a Herman Miller chair, it's not your big box retailer chair. It's something special, especially if you get the cool colors like I did. And that's one of the things. This chair, this Mira 2 that I'm in, Herman Miller has a gaming series. And I'll link those within this video's description too. And you can find all the specs, you know, check those links. But the Sail, they have a gaming series version of it. They have a gaming series of the Embody. I think they do of the Aeron also. But those gaming edition Herman Millers typically add some brighter colors, this, that, and the other. They look cool. You know, if you're a gamer, you want your chair to stand out. I just like bright colors in general because I think they're cool. And this is not a gaming edition chair that I'm in. But that's what's so cool about the Mira 2, is that you can spec it out a variety of color options. I could have even gotten this frame in a white color instead of the graphite like I did. But I thought the blue that almost looks like a purple, it just looks crazy, man. I mean, to see this chair, like, man, that dude's crazy. But that's what I like. You know, I like a crazy color, crazy comfortable office chair, ergonomic office chair. So, I mean, this thing ticks all the boxes. And you can see here, this is called the harmonic tilt. And the harmonic tilt is perfectly dialed in now. I can adjust the speed of the harmonic tilt with this big knob right here. I can make it go faster. I can make it go slower. And then also I can lock in. This is the full range of motion to the very back. The tilt limiter. There's a tilt limiter on, let's see, is that on this side or the other side? Let me feel around here. Yeah, the tilt limiter's over here. I can adjust the tilt limiter to where it'll only go just a little ways back, or it'll go kind of in the middle, or go all the way back, like this is all the way back for this chair. And I didn't get the other option on this chair, but there's even an option where you can, and I had no use for it. I mean, maybe you're in a profession where you may use something like this, but there's a tilt forward option. And I don't know what type of industry would require that. You know, maybe it's a watchmaker, maybe it's some sort of specialized writing type profession. I don't know, but that's an option. I also did not get the seat on the Mira 2. You can get an option where you can adjust the front of the seat. I didn't do that. The reason I did not is that this fits me perfectly well. And not that it would happen. I mean, Herman Miller, top quality materials and craftsmanship, but anytime there's something that's adjustable, you know, whether it's a foldable phone or anything that's adjustable, typically when something is adjustable, even if it's not adjusted that frequently, typically it becomes a point to where there can be wobble over time. There can be pops and creaks and this, that, and the other. So I didn't want to, why would I want to get adjustable front if I'm not going to use it? So that was, and I'm not saying the adjustable front would be poorly engineered. I'm sure it's exceptionally well engineered, but that was an option I didn't get. So to kind of talk through my Mira 2, and by the way, like I said, I've linked it within this video's description. I customized the color. I did get the fully adjustable arms. I got the tilt limiter, but I didn't get the one that lets you tilt forward. So I got the next to the top tier of tilt. I did not get the adjustable seat front. I did get the adjustable lumbar, which I highly recommend. I did not get the mesh covered back You know, I just got the Triflex polymer without the mesh coating over it. And by the way, if you get the mesh, all it is mesh on top of this Triflex polymer. So it was not just an aesthetic decision, but it, you know, like I said, if I'm grabbing the back of the chair, maybe my hands are greasy, I've been eating some chicken wings or something, and I get chicken wing grease on the back of my chair, I can wipe this off with a damp cloth. Whereas wiping off, if I had mesh on top of the Triflex polymer back, that would be a little bit more challenging to clean. So I looked at it from an ease of cleaning perspective. And then also, anytime you've got mesh, which I love these mesh seats. I mean, that's one of the things that makes Herman Miller so good. But anything that's this mesh type material, things can get stuck in there, you know, hairs and fibers from pants or other, you know, other things that you may sit in the chair. So it's nice to be able to make it easier to clean. Not that I'm sitting in this filthy. I mean, I take a shower before I go to my office chair, but you know, if you were somebody that was really filthy and you just went out and, you know, say you ran like 5 miles and you just sat in your office chair sweaty, you know, having that Triflex polymer back like I do versus it being covered in mesh as well would be easier to clean. So I know I have gone on and on about this, but this is how passionate I am about proper ergonomics and office chairs. And, you know, don't rush your decision. You know, like I said, if you're bigger, look at the Aeron, because you can choose among, at the time of filming this, 3 different seat sizes. If you want something that, in my opinion, is better than the Aeron from a customization perspective, and I will mention price. Typically, the Mirror 2 you can get for a lot lesser price point than the Aeron, but I actually like my Mirror 2 better than the Aeron. I've sat in a size C Aeron, which was too big for me, but it was extremely spacious and comfortable. But you know, it just didn't have the color options. It just looked like a, you know, you go into whatever office and everybody in there is all, you know, all quiet and just kind of weird personality type. I mean, it was just a boring and dull chair because you couldn't get it in the crazy colors and the crazy options. And, you know, this Mirror 2 takes it to the next level, in my opinion. And then, like I said, the Embody, if you want really good comfort, but the Embody, like I said, at least at the time of filming this, does not come in a mesh seat or mesh back option. So you're stuck with an Embody with a solid back and a solid seat, which, even though they use specialized materials that's supposed to help with cooling, you've still got a solid surface on the back and the bottom. So that's something to take into consideration, and especially if you're seated in front of a window where the sun shines through, like you've seen this, you're like, man, you must be sweating in there, you know, because that sun's shining through, and, you know, that's something to take into consideration. But if you're smaller and you want to get in on a budget, nothing wrong with the sail chair. It looks cool. It does not have, at least at the time of filming this, it does not have a mesh seat bottom option, but it has that, you know, that, what do they call the sail? It's not really it's not a mesh back. I don't know if it's the same material as this Triflex polymer like I have in my Mirror 2 or what, but, you know, if you're a smaller person, you want a smaller chair, you know, the sail could be a good option to consider. Now, there's a lot of other chairs that Herman Miller offers, and one of which I even have that I didn't mention much within this video yet, but it's the Caper. And the Caper I got because it didn't have arms at the time that I got the Caper. The Caper, since it didn't have arms and it was a smaller form factor chair, it was still ergonomically correct. And actually, I got it without a mesh seat. So it's kind of like a polymer back and a polymer seat bottom. Very easy to clean, very small, very easy to use within a tight area where you don't have a lot of room from the front of the desk to a wall behind you, in my case, a bookshelf. So it served a great purpose there. Now it's in my YouTube studio. So I've also got a tight spot there. So just a great ergonomically correct chair, but as far as comfort, not anywhere close to the Mirror 2. I mean, this is an extremely comfortable and extremely cool office chair. The Caper was cool also because it's ventilated, but it did not have, because of the nature of the materials, it did not have the comfort level of this Mirror 2. So this Mirror 2 is exceptionally comfortable. So where I'm going to go with this video, and I'm going to wrap it up, because if you're still watching, you are definitely shopping for chairs, and I applaud you, because you've come to the right place, and you can find them linked down below. But if you have questions, comment below and I'll try to post a video response. But if I was buying another chair, I would definitely go with the Mirror 2, unless I was extremely large and I needed something larger. In that case, I would go with the Herman size C, size Charlie, but knowing that by going with the Herman, that my color, there are some customization options that one can achieve with the Herman, but they're very limited, especially when it comes to colors in comparison to the Mirror 2. So if you're, let's just call a standard size person, I would highly recommend considering the Mirror 2. I mean, I think you'll find it's extremely comfortable. It's a very high-end aesthetic. It looks good in a home office or a snooty, you know, maybe you're on Wall Street, you know, you're in Manhattan and you're trading stocks and you think you're fancy. You put a chair like that in there, you're still perceived as a boss because you've got a Herman Miller chair. But for home office, I would definitely go with this. One of the things about the Mirror 2, I mean, there's so many great things about it, but whether you're using it for home office work or maybe you're, and I'm a casual gamer, I've got a PlayStation 5 down there, but you know, sometimes after hours, I'll fire up the PlayStation 5 on this big monitor. This is a 43-inch monitor. In case you thought this chair was small, no, this monitor is 43 inches. It's a massive monitor. So I just wanted to call that out. But you know, if you're after hours and you want to play a game or something, this is perfectly comfortable for playing a game in an ergonomically correct fashion. Now, one of the things that people are going to say, and this is personal preference, this does not have a headrest. The Embody has a taller back, and there's you know, some people get headrests. I think they even get them for the Hermans. The only chair, to my knowledge, right now from Herman Miller that has a headrest is called the Bantam, and the overall quality of that chair, it's not the same tier as a Mirror 2, Embody, or Herman. I mean, it's a lesser tier chair, but it does have a headrest. I don't want a headrest, but if you're someone wanting a headrest, you may not like the Mirror 2 or the Herman. But this is not a low back chair. You can see, I mean, it's, well, I mean, I can't see my shoulder blades, but you can see within this video how supportive it is. So this is super comfortable for long duration business. If you're a gamer, long duration gaming, it's just a great purchase decision. And I'm not trying to steer you one way or another, but I'm just telling you what I feel based upon many years of research, many years of use. Like I said, I used an Herman for a long time. I used the Caper for a long time, still use the Caper. This I've only been using for a few weeks at the time of filming this, which I absolutely love it. And you're right, subscribe and ring that bell because I will be posting follow-up videos. And I don't sugarcoat anything on this channel. So if I have anything that goes wrong with this chair, y'all will know, because I'll post a follow-up video response. And like I said, if you have questions, comment below and I'll try to post a video to respond to your question or questions. And but it's this, in my opinion, out of all of Herman Miller's, and we're not getting into their fancy, you know, they got all these fancy chairs with leather and all that. I don't care about that. I don't want to try to look fancy. I just want to be comfortable and ergonomically seated in an ergonomically optimal fashion. That's all I care about. And this does that. I mean, there's not another chair in the Herman Miller offering that I would choose above this. And that's even if, you know, let's take price completely out of the picture. You know, if there was a chair that was super expensive versus super cheap, I don't care if this came in at the top price or the bottom price, I would still choose this chair because I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels, and it does what I want it to do. But I hope this video helped. And again, I highly encourage everyone, if you're shopping for a Herman Miller chair, expand this video's description and then click the links there. And even if you're not shopping for a chair, but you found this video to be informative and you want to, let's just say, tip me, you know, send a super thanks, not required, but you can choose to click that thanks button down below this video and you can send me a little token of appreciation. It helps to support videos like this one. Now, if you're super cool, maybe you're super wealthy. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't need to know you. But if you want to send a little token of appreciation, you can shop my link for the chair, and you can send me a super thanks, and I'll be jumping for joy and cheering because I'm like, man, that video is paying off. You know, it's provided valuable information, and people are sending their tokens of gratitude to me. So deeply appreciate it. And seriously, I know everybody says if you have questions, you know, let me know. No, I mean it. If you have questions, comment down below, because I will be thrilled to try to respond to all of those questions within upcoming videos here on my channel. I'm not a chair expert, but I do run a lot of tech businesses, and part of my day-to-day business activities entails sitting in a chair, unfortunately. And when I sit in that chair, like I said, ergonomically correct, good looking, easy to clean, and something that'll hopefully last for many, many years, and something that is backed by a solid warranty. So thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell when you do, and check out all my other videos too. Speaking of my other videos, check out my Herman Miller Caper video, and check out my Herman Miller Mira 2 video, where I demonstrate all the various functions of this chair in a very slow and thorough video. Y'all have a good day.
Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.